Look, I finally figured out how my watch was 12 hours and 15 minutes off. It's impatience. But anyway, so I got 607 there. What is it? 607 here. But that's just a rough guess because these are, yeah. Now all I gotta do is like where I was cleaning the stove where the time is. I accidentally pushed it in again. But the lights had went out unbeknownst to me one night because I slept. And I threw it. And last week sometime I still, because it's loose, it's still blinking. So anyway, you can still get confused because there's only 2 clocks. It's with batteries in them. Anyway, it takes your pulse too. Dun, 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 dun. Tuesday. Oh, and there's a light, so I was wondering. The light. Oh, anyway, there's the light. Can you tell there's a light? And the light goes out. It doesn't stay on long. So, anyway, I'm not going to play with it because, well, one more time. Oh, good, because I can see the date then. I can see the date. Light. It is good. I guess it is evening after, it's a little after 6. It'll take me a bath before I go to bed tonight. But you know, it was really weird. I was listening to Russell Brand, and before I was listening to him, I had saw where the British took offense to Fox's type of coverage and basically started making fun of them because I guess they were saying that what they were saying, they were lying and saying that, like, there's one guy that was expert in Arabic studies of some sort, but he wasn't, ISIS, and like Don Lennon straight out asked him if he was pro ISIS. I was like, yeah, that might have been cute when you was like 7, or 8, but you gotta, but I don't know. Anyway, the question, and then there was another lady on Fox. Don Lennon, he's very handsome and his sort of, naivety, it doesn't seem, like it's trying to be me, but there's this other lady, I never can remember her name, but she's on Fox, and she's like, looks Hispanic. I believe she had been a judge at one time, but she's always like, ha ha ha, like she's straining the, all the time over anger, and she was going on saying that they took over British, they have whole neighborhoods that these Arabs were walking around, and if you don't have on their clothes like them, they're beating you up. Well, anyway, Russell Brand goes, I'm right across the street from a mass, or it's real close to his house, and he goes, they've never beaten me up for wearing, he's never had that happen to him, and there's no whole pockets in neighborhood. But anyway, on the Twitter, the people just went off on they had all type of jokes that they were making fun of the Americans. But see, like, that's what I'm saying, is just like embarrassing. Those policemen, like when you're around other people and there's a certain peer pressure, but if you're around other people and maybe you're training, maybe it's a fad, thing to say that turns into something that, is a lie that you want to believe. But let me think a good example is like this, the guy that owns the Fox, Bruce, I can't think of his name right now. I'm going to start writing things down, I think. But anyway, And I see him on Red Eye at night. Well, there's two of them, but anyway, I can't recall his name. But anyway, he had made a statement of such that was like accusing the actions of one Arab, that all we have to punish the rest of the Arabs, sort of like the thinking in Ferris, and that's where I sort of correlated that type of like put what I'm saying, and like, cause like I remember like when they were like when he was saying something, and like with that lady, it's like, oh, we need to go kill them all, we need to go kill her all. The other one from Fox, these are people from Fox, and that's the female. She was going, we need to kill them all. Don Lennon CNN, and he's just a little naive, handsome little man that I don't know, like sort of like if I see him as that. That girl that played played that like Clueless, like that part, handsome and everything. But anyway, and gets it sometimes, I guess. But anyway, what I was, but anyway, they were saying things. They were blatantly lying, according to the actual people that lived in Britain and lived in around that area, that they were saying was taken over by these Arabs and being policed by these Arabs, and like they went and invaded like the Parliament itself, and now they're the Queen Mother. I don't know how where are they gonna put that crown with all that? Anyway, so but when she was yelling, like kill him, I was thinking that people, except for the female, the other people, they're gone, they're dead, they were killed. They're not a threat. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when that person, that lone wolf person, shoots up the school. You know what I'm saying? We don't go run out and gather up all little teenager boys that age that look like him or whatever, and punish them. I can see where sometimes I might want to, beat the hell out of their parents, because like, what the hell, did you do, not do, what type of people, did you bring around and you weren't supervising this child with, or sometimes I feel like that, but sometimes, there are certain things like, that, like the mercury that's in a lot of the fructose, like a lot of the sugary drinks that people have, like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Sprite, and etc. Just anything with those. So you can start having some children behavior as kids go through puberty and they have a natural hormone, they're having some different behavior, and if you introduce any other chemical, like Ritalin or something, you can have a response that, is not acceptable, either more violent or just not sociable, or basically you just you're interacting, especially during that brain development. You're blocking the natural chemicals. So like, what I'm saying, so you're doing it, so there's a lot of things that could go on. Some of them are man-made, environmental, and there's stress that's on a kid, and there's other like experimental drugs. Some experimental drugs have more of effect on, because I hear people talk about marijuana, but if you're talking about alcohol, cocaine, if they're experimenting with their parents' pills, like Quaaludes or Secanols or Pergodons or something to that effect. These are going to have more damage on certain organs, brains, kidneys, or whatnot, than marijuana will, especially like alcohol, a lot of pain pills. They're more addictive and people could die from them. So it just depends on you know what I mean? Because I've heard people like they talk about, you know, this kid smokes marijuana, blah blah blah. But the kid was only smoking this marijuana that I knew to hide the idea that he was doing coke. He was doing crack in it. Or I don't know. I don't know how you hide it with something that smells. But anyway, I guess you know, because like I mean, really, even though it's illegal, I don't think I've ever been in any state or any city in any state or any town in that little or suburbs of any place in the United States or outside the United States that you could, you know what I'm saying. Now I'm not a policeman, so it'd take me about 2.5 minutes. I guess just think about it. Now the weather's funny, and I got a little tickly post-nasal drip thing going on here, and then I'm sitting that way. But you got to swallow proper. But anyway, that's juice. But anyway, yeah, that's better. Wash that down. A little tickly. So, but anyway, the idea that Fox News is not knowing that it's being aired worldwide, and for it to get caught in such a blatant lie that they're trying to incite terrorists, incite some fears, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said to previously in another but that Europe, that was the big problem. Is they come here, and you know what I'm saying, and there's no war here. They can do what they want. You know what I'm saying? You know, they come in here, and you know, like they learned after the 20s, the Great Depression, that they get them in here. You know what I'm saying? They close down some black business, you know, and then, you know, just tell black people, you know, every time you black people move, every time you black people move into a white area, you know what I'm saying, you got white people moving out, and they'll just flood into an area that just, you know, and basically just move the people out, you know. That's how I see it. You know, a double-buying hypocrite, that propaganda, you know what I'm saying. And like, I think because I didn't watch television for very, you know what I'm saying, like stuff like on the Fox, it was like I was watching one, like I said, I was watching one, I thought they was joking. I was like, no, yeah, nobody, you know what I'm saying. Well, the red eye was a joke, but I stopped watching that because there comes a point to where your views, well, also I thought it was funny because like that one guy was talking all this hate and he was writing a book on hate. But you know, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, there's it's just, I don't know what the hell, but it's not news. And but the thing is that that's the problem I have to deal with. I feel like every day, you know, in Memphis and every day in the United States, exactly what the Fox News is trying to do. You know, France knows how to handle France. France ain't capitalist. France, I believe, is a communist. I was like, how many are there? And the way they handle their business is different. You know, their people have, even though I believe London is supposed to be like us, capitalist, socialist, capitalist, whatever. But you know, but the philosophies on how you get to things is different. And you know, like France, you know, they have free medical. London has free medical. We don't have free medical. Okay, we really don't have freedom of speech here. You know what I'm saying? And not on television, not on the big neck weights like that. we have a lot of things that are censored that are not censored in Europe. I know it's like some of the times, like the stuff that I see that brought here, like from some of the friends in Germany, I find them so more advanced and and their technology and even their understanding, which like not try to throw me in a box and like you just sit there with somebody and then you know what I'm saying, and you could almost just have a conversation without words, because this person is not trying to like all the time. I always seem like I'm getting criticized. Like I hate going in the stores because it's like all like black women are prostitutes, and of course we got to be boosters too, right? We got to be thieves, and the only reason why I gotta go in the store is because what I'm saying, the way capitalist society is, the way the world is, the new world order is. I can't make this shit. You know what I'm saying? And you could try to do some stuff around here, and I'm telling you, these black people are destroying their ways quicker than anything else. They're so well trained. But like me not watching TV, like really growing up, and like it's when I've been around people that it's more apparent, because like I could go a long period of time without watching TV, because sometimes TV can be aggravating. But anyway, they do this thing where they stare at you waiting for you, like they're just like, okay, any moment now. And if I get off into my like reading a book or doing something, something else that next they just have to they just can't do it without TV. They just can't function. And then a lot of people think, I need to in the United States, like all the time, like, I need cameras in my house to watch me. Well, the thing is, if you have cameras and all this for security, you gotta understand, cameras, they're just gonna film it so the police can have something afterwards. You know what I'm saying? That's not really, because I was getting harassed by like that and all that, and like these people getting that stuff from around here or whatever. I don't want nothing, you know what I'm saying? And if I do, they're so accessible to, to do that, hook that up yourself, that I don't see why I would have to go to a third, second, I don't want any more holes in this house anyway. But there's no logical reason for that, So, the Radio Shack used to be really good, because I knew this guy that he had like a little like I guess it was like a little like 9-inch TV sitting on top of his other TV. But anyway, that when you rang the doorbell, the camera, when you pushed that bell, the camera came on, and so you could see the person who and so like you'd see the person right above, like if you're sitting there watching TV, the other little TV that was sitting right there would come on, and I guess for him it was relatively simple, So a lot of these things that are offered, or a lot of things that we need to do, that I'm saying, that we don't have to be so dependent on getting everything from the corporations that are now running the world. They have the food supply. They're the ones in manufacturing. They're in transportation. They're in banking. They're in our education system. They're in the sports. They're in the entertainment. So there's not much they don't have their hands into. So if there's little things you're gonna do, like there's one guy, he does these are like the Liberty Guard. I'm gonna plant these as peas. One guy, old guy, 70, Harold. He has string where on the side of his pot, and he grows them straight up. So anyway, I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna do some of the start hotboxing some seats in the house, so that way, maybe they'll be ready to go when it's time to go. Who knows? But actually, he keeps his in a pot on the porch, right where he could. The chairs are on. I guess you could sit and time to pop peas. But anyway, yeah, that's an excellent idea. I have to see what type of container. It's all about getting a container and right now. But anyway, that's a lot like what I feel like that we're going through right now in America is misinformation, and the way that they give us misinformation is through the media. And you have to think, why would it benefit this Fox people to give misinformation and have us afraid and petrified that here comes a bunch of teenage Arabic children that are going to go and do like they did in France because they're already organized in London. It's because they got a lot of money written on, keeping the war going. Either it's war supplies, who knows, they might be, Norvas, is that it? And Lockheed, and all these, they do a lot of, make a lot of parts and stuff like that, but they also get a lot of parts manufactured, send it over here in the United States, remove a little tiny piece off, and so it's a two-way street. We also get stuff in that way, that we ourselves are not manufacturing, that we're not making, and we're dependent on now as to get merchants. We are the consumers, so we're dependent on assuming, and all the stuff that we're getting from is from overseas. Now, in these and in the areas they're talking about with the Arabs, these are all companies that had invaded these areas, displaced these people, like pretty much use the place like Israel, like to keep a hot spot, to keep Israel stirred up, a bunch of propaganda, what I'm saying, about being scared, and the Arabs, ISIS is coming in tunnels underneath you, and all this crazy shit. So keep them up, so like they could keep pumping the materials out of there, and as for as much money as they give these people, they try to put in position, and all this money they fucking waste. I think they could have a nice little, they could work in cooperation, but they can't comprehend how they could work in cooperation and not leave such a devastating and deadly, not only of human life, the land life, the air life, and the water, and that like maybe their comforts and all this is that where they feel is justified, but I say at the last moment, they always says that you have clarity, and I think that that if you are getting that close to thee as you guys are, and you still can't think of a better fucking way to multiply your fucking money in this capitalist society, where and even in a socialist society or whatever type of society you want, it's all about people making the money, and you're already up high enough up in the pyramid to where you should be positioned enough to where you that you're making money off of the money you already made, off of interest. You got such tax breaks and all this that I don't see where it except for the fact that you just know you ain't gonna be around much longer, so what the fuck do you care? But I don't see how it's I don't know, maybe y'all gay, you don't have any no, I wouldn't insult gay people, I'm so sorry for that. Maybe y'all just a mindless orangutan. Well, you look like an orangutan with that straight hair. You know how orangutans have that straight hair, like, so you know, so you look like a bunch of orangutans sitting like you just, you know, orangutan, and they're real red and white, you know, real light, you know, real light white, real pale faces and shit. But you're orangutan looking motherfucker with the, you know, your orangutan brain out them bitches. You know, so I don't know how much, you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying spread your fucking money out, but I am saying that to dismiss reality, to dismiss the truth, you know, to the point to where, you know, it's humiliating and it's a shame that you even fucking claim to be a fucking American. You need to claim wherever the fucking country y'all motherfuckers came from. Don't claim this country acting like a fucking moron just because you got money. You know what I'm saying? You're around a bunch of motherfuckers you hire. They probably, yes sir, you know, yes sir, any motherfucking thing you say. You could have shit on your motherfucking face, and then you say, how's this look? They'll tell you, oh, you look marvelous. You know, you're the boss. Yeah, they probably tell you know, and the women that you have up in there, that's another thing, you know, they got their skirts so high, they look like a bunch of little low-life fucking European, no, I wouldn't even call them European hoes, they look like cheap 42nd Street hoes. You know, I know they just one generation from the mama coming off of Ellison Island and been in the sex trade like all you guys, white people, was when you came out of fucking Ellison Island. You know what I'm saying? So don't think we don't know who the fuck and where the fuck y'all came from and what the fuck you about. You know, acting like almighty and all this bullshit. You know, you know what I'm saying? I know you're the trafficking of humans, you know, when you gotta deal with the Arabs. Is that where those 200 motherfucking girls went? Anyway, I wouldn't put none past you because that shit right there, you know what I'm saying? But see, you know, I know one thing. I'm so glad you ain't, you know what I mean, that you're a racist ass motherfucker, two-faced bitch that's already been shown, because I don't want anybody to mistake that you represent anybody else in this motherfucking United States with your stupidity. Anybody want no motherfucker goddamn nursery rhyme from your ass? They tuned in for the news. Anyway. Aggravating.